I'm just looking for Bob Loudermilk here. So Bob, if
Yeah,
you
Bob. Bob is here.
he's here, Bob, can you open your camera for a sec? So I'll spotlight you. Because we have a very special guest. I'm so excited. As you know, tonight is all about Fiverr. And Bob, I'm going to give him a full introduction. Here he is. I see him right there, Bob.
Here.
Hello, Bob. Good to see you
That's included.
again. So I'm going to add a spotlight for Mr. Bob. There you are. So the three of us are now spotlighted. And we're talking about Upwork tonight. This site, it's a site that not a lot of people talk about, and they should be because you can actually do extremely well. That's why we invited Bob. Bob is went through our programs, made his demo. Deborah, did you do Bob's demo,
I
Deborah?
Yeah.
sure
Yeah.
did. Hi,
So
Bob.
wonderful. So anyway, I'm Susan Berkley. This is Deborah Pryor. We're Great Voice coast to coast tonight. I'm in New York. Deborah's in LA. We're a virtual company, but we're 100% with you every week for these spotlight trainings to help you get into voiceover. And this gentleman here is Bob Loudermilk. Hey, Bob.
Good evening.
See you. Nice to see you. And a wonderful voice. I'm going to give you a full introduction in just a moment so
Okay.
that we're going to get people settled because I know people come on at different times. But the topic tonight is Upwork, which is one of the freelance sites, and how to get jobs on the Upwork freelance site. And Bob is someone who did it. So in a few minutes, he's going to tell his story. But I want to remind you all to please turn your phone off so you can pay attention. This is for you. So take just about an hour to give us your attention and make sure that you guys know about our podcast. It is season three. We're working on season three. It's amazing. So this is not just a podcast where I go on and on and on, about me, me, me. No, I am interviewing a community member, actually coaching two community members every podcast episode. So when you listen, you're getting a free masterclass with me as I step somebody just like you, a beginner, or maybe some of our more advanced students, through a piece of copy. And, we talk all about them, and I really do an in-depth training. So you can find the Great Voice Podcast everywhere you listen to podcasts. Shout out to Selena Matreger, my wonderful marketing assistant and producer of the podcast. So I encourage you guys over the holidays, check it out, see if you like it. And then if you do, make a comment, like us, and tell your friends. Now, also, greatvoice.com, we've just updated the site to make it easier for you to use. You'll see our calendar of classes on there. You'll see resources. You'll see, basically who we are and what we do and how we help you get from new beginner to working voiceover professionals like Bob. And there's easy access to our member portals on the site. It's really, they did a great job, and we worked very hard to make it super user friendly. When you get a minute, just check it out. All right, now, tonight's skill spotlight training is about Upwork and how to get jobs on Upwork, and especially if you're brand new, because Bob was brand new when he went there. He'll tell you that story in just a second. But I want to know, as we always do, if it's the first time on one of our skill spotlight trainings, would you come in the chat and say that's me so that we can welcome you as we always like to do? Just say that's me.
Davita,
Greg's new, so's Brad, and so's Davita. Welcome, you guys.
Carmel,
Carmel, great. You're in the right place. Brandy,
Brandon,
Jeff,
Debbie,
Debbie, hi there. And so
owner.
David Peterson's here every week.
Oh,
David, we're
David.
so grateful to see you. It's great to see you
David.
again. Yeah, because this should give people an idea, Deborah, of who we are as a community. These are our weekly free community meetings. So I would say a good 75% of everyone on the line is here every week. It's just like on your calendar, right? Right, Kevin? Kevin's a member of the community, a cherished member of the community, comes back again and again. Sherry, hi Sherry, nice to see you, and see people like Tootie welcoming you guys. So it's just a lot of fun, and we just so happy you guys are here. This particular session is, I guess it falls under marketing, doesn't it, Deborah and Bob? The job getting part of voiceover. Now I have really This is something I love helping you with, something I'm good at. I built I have two seven-figure voiceover clients. One I am still working for today after 30 years, and they keep coming back for more, and many, many, many others. And I have a production company and I built great voice. So I understand marketing, but I love breaking it down and teaching you and helping you go from being someone with a great voice who wants to do this to someone who is now a working voice talent, like many of our students are. And we thought we would invite Bob to come here because he's part of that category. And it's nothing makes me happier, Deborah, and nothing makes you happier
Oh,
too, right?
boy.
You know,
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
Deborah's a working talent and
Mhm.
I'm a working talent, and we don't have to do this, but we love teaching and
We
coaching.
love doing
We
this.
just
Oh
love
my
it.
God.
It makes us really
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here tonight. And if you're looking for new opportunities as a voiceover freelancer, this is totally for you. A lot of people don't think about that. They might say, "Oh, I'm talent." No, but you fall into a freelance category, just like all those other millions of freelancers, people who do, I guess you call it the gig economy, right? You've got the graphic artists, you've got the coders, you've got anybody and
Exactly.
everybody who freelances.
Yep.
And there are two giant freelance sites. One of them is Upwork, and that's the topic tonight. And it's totally open. That's what's so exciting, Deborah. Completely open to new people. You do not need an agent to get
Yeah.
this opportunity. You're going to
And it
love this.
has it has really interesting gigs on it.
Really?
Really
And Bob will
interesting.
tell us in a second. I'm so
Yeah.
excited. I got to get through this so I can introduce Bob because I
Yeah.
can't wait. All right, but look, this is for you. If you want what we've got, the solution tonight, the way of getting jobs, it's professional and it's proven. This is not sleazy or, unsafe in any way.
Mhm.
And it is free to get in. And like I just said, without an agent. And, you want a site that's like perhaps a little easier to navigate than Fiverr. It isn't absolutely overrun by competition. There's competition, but it's not, you're not like trying to crowd your way in there. And most importantly, when you are on Upwork, you are absolutely assured of getting paid for work you do if you follow our guidelines, which we'll tell you about in a minute. And this is a way to add an additional source of opportunity for your voiceover marketing again, even if you're a beginner. And you can get in front of corporate clients who can hire you again and again and again. So, real quick, there's new people on. I'll just tell you about myself. I am the signature voice of Citibank, and I was the voice of AT&T for many years. I come from a radio background. I work with Howard Stern, and I am a working professional voice talent like Deborah. I do this every single day. I founded greatvoice.com, and I've helped launch thousands now of successful voiceover careers in the decades I've been teaching. I've written a few books. You have Voiceover Secrets Exposed, I'm sure. And I wrote Speak to Influence, and I've been featured in New York Times, CNBC, and ABC News. Now, there are 5 ways to get jobs, you guys. We added a bonus fifth way this year. I say it like this to simplify. There's really only 5 ways to do it. Number one, which is the topic tonight, is to go on one of the freelance sites. We'll focus in on Upwork tonight. You can audition, you can get referrals from friends, you can market directly to targeted leads, or you can go on something called Casting Call Club, which is like the Wild West for for creators of video games and
Yeah.
opportunities like that. So these are the 4. This is it, and this is what we do here. We teach you step by step by step how to conquer and be successful in all of these ways after you get your training and you do your demo with us. Now, what is Upwork? It is a marketplace for freelancers, including voice talent. They help you find projects, they communicate with clients, and they help you get paid. It is free, FREE free, and easy to use. And I strongly recommend you create a profile and bid for jobs on Upwork. So now we can introduce you to Bob. Hey, Bob Loudermilk. So good to
Good
see you.
evening again.
Yeah. So, Bob, when did you start training with us?
Um, I retired at the end of February 2023, so I think I took my first work with you all within a couple of months after then, and then pretty consistently for the rest of 2003 and into 2004.
That's beautiful, Bob. We're so glad Bob's a wonderful, wonderful member of our community. And Bob is a recently retired, as he was saying, hold on just a second, uh, former college president and dean
Hmm.
from Reidsville, North Carolina. Did I get that right?
Yes.
So you worked as a teacher and administrator for 39 years. What a career at six colleges in three states, and you're so competent at it. You said, Susan, I had to put voiceover aside for like a few months. I got rehired as for contract work, right?
And that happened again. That's now happened twice in the last year.
That's awesome. Well, this is the great thing about voiceover because you can do it in and around these other opportunities. But
Yes.
Bob is a former radio guy. He did medical and educational narrations for Duke Medical School. That's cool, Bob.
Mhm.
So update us on what's going on in your voiceover life and especially on Upwork.
Well, when I began in 2000, as I was anticipating retirement, um, I'm not the kind of person like so many who doesn't want to, quote, retire. So it came down to what do I want to do that's working? And my voice was the consistent pattern with so much of what I had done over 40 years, not only just teaching and speaking, but also doing the narrations work at Duke when I was in graduate school there, being in radio for about 10 years. There just seemed to be all kinds of things that attracted me to doing voiceover work. And I never really intended to put 40 hours a week into doing voiceover. I wanted something I could do part time. And voiceover work has really proven very well. In my first year, I decided I would use year one as kind of a proof of concept year. I'll give it a shot. I set a goal for myself in terms of what I would think I would like to make in terms of dollars. And if it was successful, I would continue with it. Well, it's been successful. Um, I have achieved about 22, I've counted again this morning, 22 clients total. Of those clients, six are repeat clients. And of those six that are repeats, three are repeating for more than a year. And that's
That's
what you want to go for is repeat clients. Um, in this year alone, I have just only through Upwork, I have amassed about $2,300, and I feel good
woohoo.
about that. I've done about 180 scripts this year through Upwork. I have clients in the United States, Jamaica, Israel, France, Australia, and the UK. And of those clients, clients in Jamaica and the UK are the most consistent repeaters. Um, what do I do? What kinds of things have I been at? And, when you go into Upwork, and we'll certainly talk about this later on, you complete a profile, you put your demo on, and the very first client that I attracted said to me in an email, "We chose you because of your demo." So Deborah, thank you. And I mean that's happened so much. The beautiful
Well,
thing about doing auditions for companies or gigs that you see, the ones that you are able to get work with, you can pass those on as examples of what you are doing to other prospective people that you want to listen to your work.
yeah, just pause for 2 seconds. So what you're saying, you can actually use your audition as a little demo.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I always include my demo, but pieces of work that I've had done that have been successful for business, unless I know with the client that is not something I should share, I'm able to share that, and that helps get you more business because I've been able to get projects such as, for example, several YouTube channel narrations. I did the video work or the audio work for videos for a financial company's onboarding for new clients. I did a series of weather closing and weather warning announcements for a manufacturing plant that was played at multiple locations of those plants. I have done podcast production. I have done radio spots, commercials, liners, nonprofit organization announcements. Um, I've done the videos for a company that trains citizens, people who want to become U.S. citizens naturalized. Those are just examples of some of the work that I've gotten. You have to, you don't have to look at it every day to see what's out there. I like to, simply because when you look at the work that is available through Upwork, you get a lot of information about maybe new directions that you want to pursue. You get a lot of information as to what the changes are that are going on. There is a lot of work for voices for AI purposes. And I'm a little skeptical about some of the ones that I read, but there are a lot of people who are buying human voices that they will transfer into an AI format. You just have to determine if you want that to be good or not. I have an ongoing conversation with one of my clients who has started using AI for his voicing needs. And I remind him that the human voice in narration is able to evoke the emotions that are so important in so many scripts. And I think I have convinced him to the point where I was doing a lot of work with him. I'm now only doing a little bit of work with him, and he understands, but he's looking at it from a cost standpoint himself. But I don't think I've lost him. I think we're still there. But all of that to say, you can see so much in Upwork, and you could do the same thing in Fiverr. What is out there, and what do you want to be further trained for? What do you want to do to expand yourself? It's been a great experience. I have felt like it has certainly met my needs all along.
Oh, Bob, that's awesome. Congratulations. And I think what's
Thank
notable, so you did that great demo with
you.
Deborah. And
Yes,
how soon after, was that May? And then you went on Upwork. How soon
it was about a month. It was about a month
you got your
after.
first gig on Upwork?
Yes, that's correct.
Guys, do you hear that? Listen to all these people. We have
He was brand new.
72 people on the line right now, Bob. Guys, come on in the chat and just tell me, first of all, congratulate Bob, but do you think that with the right guidance, you could do something similar, perhaps? Here, Bob did this
I
step.
think you can.
I do too.
Yeah.
Come on in the
You
chat,
you
you
have to
guys. Give me
you
a.
have to be patient. You definitely have to be patient.
But you,
Mhm.
there's steps to take. There's a what I mean in a little bit, Bob. I'm going to tell everybody about the training on Monday we have coming up with you, where Bob is because there's a lot of Fiverr, Upwork has some like unique things about it, Bob. We're not going to go into that tonight.
Mhm.
That requires the step-by-step training. We're going to teach. Bob will teach with Donna because I'm out of town. On exactly the how to do Upwork to be successful. So you're going to have a man right here who is like one of you.
Right.
And maybe you're getting ready that you haven't done your demo yet. You need to actually pay attention because
Mhm.
this when you like Bob, 1 month after getting his
Yeah,
demo done, man, he slid right into that site and it's free to join, is it not, Bob?
it is. It is.
Yeah.
One of the things that's momentarily unfortunate for me, one of my clients in Jamaica, and I do a lot of YouTube narration work for this client. His home was destroyed in the
Oh,
um,
really?
hurricane a couple of
Yeah.
months ago, and so
Yeah.
his business has kind of momentarily shut down, and he's not writing or producing anything until he
Mm,
gets his home rebuilt, of course.
sure, sure.
Um, so I'm looking in other directions for other kinds of work, but he will come back. I'm confident about
Oh,
that.
sure. And the great thing is about Upwork is that you have done it. I didn't even know this wasn't even really intentional, but it just happens to be because it is a freelance site and there's such a wide variety of opportunities, international opportunities, Bob. If you lose one customer because of an unfortunate circumstance, you've got hundreds more. I mean, how many total
You do.
customers did you say? Over 200 now?
Well, I've done just this year alone about 180 scripts this year
Beautiful.
and I have about 22, right at 23 ongoing clients. And of those ongoing clients, 6 are full repeat customers. And of those 6, 3 have been repeats for more than a year.
I mean, it's beautiful. And so like you just said, God forbid something happens to one of them, you got a lot of deal flow now.
Yes.
You've got leverage. So that is amazing, Bob. And this is only going to grow as it has. So I'm going to share the screen again because I have some more information that's specific to Upwork, sort of like some facts and figures here that people need to realize. So first of all, as I was saying, it's free to join. It's very beginner friendly. Like Bob, a month after he finished his demo, he was there. You are definitely developing your business skills, are you not, Bob? I mean, you didn't
I
maybe,
think so. I hope so.
yeah, yeah, because you coming from your college back now, you've had a varied career, but now you're on your own as a freelancer, and those are being developed. You don't need an agent. In fact,
Correct.
there are
Correct.
no agents for this.
That's right.
No,
Yeah, you're it. You
You are it.
correct.
You have direct contact with the customer. And that's beautiful because if you guys do the pay to play sites, as they're called, these are subscription sites. You might have heard of voices.com and Voice123, right? New people. So those are sites you actually pay. You can pay a lot of money, many hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars to be listed there. And they're only sending you auditions. And
Mhm.
you get minimal contact with the end user. So they either hire you, they either like your audition or not. And people are doing hundreds and hundreds of auditions, maybe booking one or a couple of jobs. You heard Bob, he has direct customer contact and he's
Mhm.
booking hundreds of jobs and he hasn't paid a penny. He gets paid. So no agent is needed. Uh, Customers are prepaying your services, Bob, right? They escrow the money. So you're
They escrow the money, and I just have it set up so that um, once I finish a project and the client approves on his or her end, you have a week's period where the money is sitting where it is in case there are any additional changes that the customer comes back to you for and wants to be sure of. Maybe you need something to be re-recorded or something of that sort.
Mhm.
After that money sits there for a week, it's then put into your account and you can transfer it wherever you want it to go. In my case, it goes to a PayPal account, and then I eventually transfer that into another account. But
What do
yes,
you do? May I be so bold as to ask what you do with your voiceover money? Is that like fun money for you? What do you do with it?
I use it. Well, I use some of it to go back into this business,
Sure.
um, and the rest I just determine how I want to use it. And again, because I'm approaching it part time, I know I'm not pushing for 40 hours a week, but that's okay. I mean, I went into it with that in mind.
Sure, sure. You got other retirement, you retirement. That's great, Bob.
Yes,
Awesome. So let's talk about some of the opportunities there. As you said, you're doing some broadcasts, some non-broadcasts. So just run through some of the wide range of things that you're doing there. You did an inspirational channel. Did you still
I
do
do an
that?
inspirational channel, which is produced by the company in Jamaica.
Okay.
Um, that's one of the YouTube channels that I've done. Um, I did the audio onboarding for a series of videos for a financial company they were producing these videos for their new customers. And so you would sign up to, or you would go in and sign up to be a customer, and they would send you a link of the training that you need to do for your accounts. I did the video work or the audio work for all that. Um, I do narrations again that are educational for a company that trains people to become U.S. citizens by naturalization. Um, I've done a couple of podcast jobs. I
Like as
have
the
done,
announcer for a podcast.
yes, as the announcer. I've done radio spots. I've done other nonprofit radio announcements. Uh,
For those radio spots, wasn't it something to do with men's clothing? You were doing a lot of those.
I was so blown away by that. You
that was
said,
a YouTube narration
mm,
project called Men's Style Hub.
mm.
Very
That is
interesting.
so
Bob.
cool. Way to
Very
go, Bob.
interesting.
See, I mean, can you guys see the rate? How fun is that? So, like every
Mhm.
voiceover day, you have a new project.
That's what's so exciting about Upwork. I mean, it sounds like
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
awesome. The
So people
variety.
need to understand Bob is doing zero marketing to get the customers.
correct.
Upwork is doing the marketing.
Hmm.
And he just goes in the right places, which he's going to teach you on Monday. And he's responding to opportunities in a certain way with beautiful cover letters, which he's going to teach you about on Monday. And then, getting these gigs. But they
Hmm.
practically came to your doorstep, Bob. You didn't, I mean, what would it have taken you to go and get these YouTube jobs and these commercials and these onboarding? Impossible, right?
It would have been a real challenge. I mean, there are more and more and more and more gigs for YouTube jobs that are emerging that I see in the offerings all the time.
Well, you know
Uh,
why? Part of the reason YouTube has said to creators, because everybody was
mhm.
using AI, and YouTube said enough.
Yes.
YouTube now, if you are a creator, somebody's creating content on YouTube, you are required to use either a human voice or a human actor.
Mhm.
You cannot do a 100% AI channel, or you won't make money on it. On
Correct.
So they're coming like crazy now. The timing, you guys, is perfect for this
Yes.
because of that new law. So you're
Mhm.
going to see, or we already are seeing a surge of opportunities for these YouTube narrator jobs because they can't use AI anymore to narrate them. I mean, how cool is that? Come in the chat and say, hooray.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
If you can't say it, spell it.
Yeah. Jabari's right there. Thank you, Jabari. Peggy goes,
Kevin,
forget
hey,
hooray. I
that's what
say
we love.
amen.
Hey,
Jeff
that's
is like,
nice.
forget that. I say coolio. And
Right.
Leslie goes, yippee. That's fine.
There we go, people. Yeah.
Yeah, David Siegel's narrators. Yay, so cool. Yeah, so this is one of those timing things, you guys. It really is. This is a window of opportunity, I think, in voiceover right now. It's on the one hand, people are nervous about AI, but on the other, it's opening up opportunities because there's a need for humans on
Mhm.
on YouTube right now. That's so cool. So they don't take a lot of commission, do they, Bob? It's 10%, right?
Correct. That's correct.
And how soon are they paying you? Is it 5 days?
You get your money within about a week
Okay.
from the time the client has approved on his or her end. And that week period is to give them time to make sure they're not going to come back to you for any changes that might require an alteration in the amount due to you. And so
Mm.
you just kind of bank that in your head, knowing whatever the day is going to be, go to your inbox with Upwork in the finance area. And when you see it's been moved to your spot, then you can transfer that to, in my case, PayPal.
It's wonderful. And the other thing, and this is the main difference about Upwork and Fiverr. I have a slide on this in a second. So Fiverr has a lot more traffic. No, they're a monster site with a lot of activity and millions of people coming there for all kinds of freelance jobs, not
Mhm.
just voiceover. But the average Fiverr buyer is around 200, just under $300 in repeat business. But on Upwork, Bob, it's more like 5 grand.
Mhm.
The
Yes,
value of a customer, as Bob is showing us,
I would
in just
agree.
the short period of time, you've had several customers worth several thousand, have you
Yeah.
not, with the repeat business?
Um, One approaching that.
Yeah.
Um, when I started, I was doing both Fiverr and Upwork.
Hmm.
I, after about 2.5 years, decided to step away from Fiverr because I was having more work coming my way through Upwork.
Yeah.
It's just meeting my needs in a better way.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's great. I hope you guys understand that. And that's what I just said. Here's that number. So the average Upwork's active clients spend a whopping $5,000 over their client lifetime, Bob. So
Hmm.
you might have some customers now that are just under 1,000, but they're going to stick with you, Bob, and keep buying over
Let's
time.
hope.
Yeah,
Let's hope.
over time it just goes up. But you have so many customers now that it's all, like you said, it's an aggregate.
And
And
I go back into my list of those clients and just touch base with them, even if I've not recorded anything in 2 or 3, 4 months, just to stay in touch, make sure I'm thinking about them, and keep that door open. And sometimes, well, for example, one of my recent clients was a law firm, and I had done something early on for them in terms of um, a list of audios that they were going to make available to their clients of the law firm. I hadn't heard from them in a while. I guess it was about 4 months ago. I got an inquiry from the firm. Do you do telephone messaging? Yes, I do telephone messaging. And so, literally in one day, I got a contract for a small project that they wanted to redo all of their telephone system work. And I redid all that, produced it, sent it back to them. They paid me that night. We're done.
That is
So
beautiful.
they came
Congratulations.
back. That's the
Yeah.
point. They came
That
back.
they do, and it's wonderful because Upwork buyers tend to be CEOs, founders, and
Hmm.
established companies, whereas on Fiverr they're smaller businesses and solopreneurs that want quick help.
Right.
So it's great if you can do both. And like Bob is focusing on Upwork, and that's why we're doing the training with Bob on Monday. So we talked about YouTube, and we talked about the explosion of opportunities for narrators there. We talked about the fact that people come and they look for talent for their commercials. Bob, what can you give us a sort of an overview? Who are the people that are hiring you for commercials? Just what types of customers?
The two sets of commercials I've done were sought by people working at ad agencies.
Oh, okay.
They were for radio commercials,
Hmm.
and one was for a financial institution here in the U.S., um, and that went very well. And the other was for a car dealership in Michigan. But
Great.
they were both sought by ad agency people.
Mhm.
Wonderful. And people need to realize that in addition, of course, we all know that the big agencies on Madison Avenue and in LA and Chicago, what have you, but there are lots of smaller ad agencies all around the country,
Hmm.
around the world, Bob.
Yes.
And they reached out this way because it's fast for them and they know they can find pros like Bob there. So imagine you can actually become a voice and there's repeat business. So you guys know what retail is, right? Like, so if you're the voice of a local store, whenever they have a sale, they're going to call you or over the holidays, or they have some sort of promotion. It's just wonderful. We talked about faith-based. Bob is you are a theologian, right, Bob?
Correct. That's
Yeah.
correct.
So you have a big faith-based background, if I may say so. So this, I guess that customer, you thought, well, this is right up my alley. Now, are these daily devotionals? What is it that you were voicing?
It's done that way. The YouTube channel is their name is Godly Motivation, and I do up until my
America.
contacts home was destroyed. I would do devotionals, and they will put them out on YouTube basically every day. Um, that's one of the clients that started using AI to do that work.
Mm.
And so it cut into I guess, my script production by about a third. But he and I have had conversations back and forth. And I think he's understanding that certain things that need the quality of a human emotion expressed, it's best done, whether it's my voice or some other voice, but it's best done by a human voice, a
Yeah,
live human voice.
yeah, that's beautifully said. Really great. Okay, and then have you done any medical narrations yet on Upwork?
Only a couple of small medical narrations. I've done one of the narrations that I did was for it in a weird kind of way. It was for a medical clinic. It was ended up being a commercial for a clinic in Kentucky.
Hmm.
Um, but I've not done medical narrations the way I still want to do. I enjoyed doing it before when I was in grad school, and I've taken one of your courses in
Hmm.
medical narration work. That just hasn't come to pass yet, but it will. I'm confident of that.
That's fantastic. Yeah, you have that background. Wonderful. See, are you guys seeing the range of things that you can do from one platform? It really streamlines your marketing, so you don't have to go and market yourself separately to all these different niches. Yeah.
I
And
still market to local production companies, things of that sort. Um, there's one in Charlotte that I did a one time piece of work on about 8 months ago. but I still work those outside of Upwork. It's important to do that. But Upwork just feeds with a lot of options that you don't have, and you have to be patient sometimes when you apply for a job through Upwork, and it may take days or even a couple of weeks to hear back from the client. For either more information or would you please record the following 3 scripts? We want to hear more, blah, blah, blah. But you just have to be patient in all of that.
That's awesome. So they're sending you scripts to audition, is what you're saying.
Yeah, yes. Some you do the basic application, uh, put your cover letter on. I will attach my samples that I've chosen. And then if they are still interested, they may write back and say, would you record this script or these 3 scripts? And they may be no more than about 2 minutes worth, but they want to hear more of
I
what
got you.
they are connecting with. And sometimes they'll choose you and sometimes they won't. You just have to understand that's the nature of
The
this
way it
game, as you will all
The way
well
the
know.
site works. That's great.
Well,
Um,
Susan, can I just say one thing
sure,
because
please.
it's important, Bob? You said, you just have to be patient, everything. That's why audition, audition, audition. Don't sit,
Absolutely.
wait,
Yes.
because when you audition just consistently, just keep going. And then
Yes.
when one comes through, you're like, oh my God, you didn't even have time to worry about it because you were so busy auditioning. Okay.
Right.
So
If I
that's
were
the,
doing auditions every single day, I'm
yeah,
still doing work in voiceover.
absolutely.
That's the life of a voiceover artist.
Yeah.
Correct.
Exactly. And audition is that's what we do.
Yes.
And you look at your pay at the end of the year.
Hmm.
These 20, 100, 300 things paid me, and I did maybe 400 auditions. That's cool. It's all part of the soup, right? All
Yes.
part of the big soup. That's great. I love that you said this. Have you done any audiobooks there? I know Upwork does have.
I had one, and I won't go into detail on this. I had one audiobook job that I backed out of because the first chapter of the book was very, very difficult to understand.
Mm,
Mm.
And I worked on that first chapter and realized there was no amount of narration that you could do that would help that to be understandable.
yeah, as a poor author.
Yeah.
But yeah, but there are some that are viable and people do them on Upwork. That's the point.